Imagine you're walking through a difficult period in your life. You've recently moved, lost a relationship, started college, lost your job, or maybe you're simply lonely. Then someone approaches you. They're friendly, interested in your life. They listen carefully, they remember your name. To you, it feels like someone finally understands you. They invite you to a gathering. The people there seem happy, welcoming, purposeful. For the first time in months, maybe years, you feel like you belong somewhere. Now here's the question. At what point did the recruitment begin? Was it when they invited you? When they shared their beliefs? When they asked you to commit? The answer is more unsettling, because the best cult recruiters don't begin by selling a belief. They begin by solving a problem. And once you understand what's in the mind of a cult recruiter, you'll realize something disturbing. Most people aren't recruited because they're gullible. They're recruited because they're human. The biggest misconception about cult recruitment is that recruiters target unintelligent people. Most don't. In fact, many cult members are highly educated, successful, capable, independent. Because intelligence isn't the vulnerability, circumstance is. A cult recruiter thinks differently than most people imagine. They aren't asking, who's stupid enough to believe this? They're asking, who's searching for something? Purpose, community, meaning, identity, direction. Every human being searches for those things. Some are simply searching harder than others. Former cult recruiters often describe looking for moments of transition. College freshmen, recent divorcees, people grieving a loss, new arrivals in a city, individuals experiencing uncertainty. Because uncertainty creates openness, and openness creates opportunity. The recruiter isn't selling doctrine, not yet. They're identifying needs. Most people assume cult recruitment starts with ideology. It usually doesn't. It starts with relationships. A recruiter understands something powerful. People rarely join ideas. People join people. The first experience often feels surprisingly normal. Friendly conversations, group activities, shared meals, encouragement, attention, interest. The recruit feels noticed, valued, included. This process is sometimes called love bombing. Not necessarily romantic love, social love. The feeling that you found your tribe. A former member of a well-known cult later recalled something remarkable. She couldn't remember the first doctrine she was taught, but she clearly remembered how accepted she felt. That's because belonging arrived before belief. The emotional connection came first. The ideology came later. And that's exactly how many recruiters want it. Because once someone feels connected to the group, challenging the group's beliefs becomes much harder. A skilled cult recruiter is often less interested in what you believe. They're interested in what you need. Every successful recruiter eventually becomes a student of psychology, not necessarily through textbooks, through observation. They learn which conversations create trust, which fears create vulnerability, which desires create attachment. And they rarely attack a person's existing worldview directly. That creates resistance. Instead, they build bridges. Agreement first, commitment later, because humans are far more likely to change beliefs gradually than suddenly. One of the most powerful tools in cult recruitment isn't persuasion. It's consistency. Human beings like seeing themselves as consistent people. Once we make a small commitment, we're more likely to make a larger one. Attend one meeting, then another. Read one book, then another. Donate a small amount. Volunteer for an event. Spend more time with members. Gradually, each step starts feeling normal. The recruiter understands this perfectly. Massive commitments are difficult. Tiny commitments are easy, so they focus on tiny commitments and allow psychology to do the rest. At a certain point, the recruiter's job changes. The challenge is no longer attracting the recruit. It's protecting the relationship. And that's where many cults become dangerous, because outside information becomes a threat. Friends become threats, family becomes threats, critics become threats, alternative viewpoints become threats. Why? Because every competing source of influence reduces dependence on the group. The recruiter understands a simple reality. If a recruit regularly compares ideas, questions increase. Questions create doubt. Doubt threatens commitment. So outside voices are often reframed as enemies, negative, misguided, corrupt, dangerous. The goal isn't merely controlling information, it's controlling trust. Because if the group becomes the only trusted source, influence increases dramatically. This may be the most uncomfortable part. Many cult recruiters genuinely believe they're helping people. Some are manipulative, some are exploitative, but many are sincere. That's what makes recruitment so effective. The recruiter often believes the group possesses truth, salvation, purpose, answers, meaning. History is full of people who caused enormous harm while believing they were doing good. The cult recruiter is often no different. This creates a dangerous combination: conviction without skepticism, confidence without doubt, certainty without evidence. The recruiter isn't necessarily thinking, how can I control this person? They're often thinking, how can I save this person? And sometimes those two goals become impossible to separate. The recruit begins protecting the system that recruited them, sometimes even recruiting others. The process continues, generation after generation, not because people are foolish, because people need meaning. And meaning is powerful. The most frightening thing about cult recruiters isn't that they're master manipulators, it's that they understand something fundamental about being human. Because every human being wants the same things: purpose, community, identity, meaning. And when someone promises all four at once, the offer can become incredibly difficult to resist. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.